Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I'd like to spend some time with my friend Marc Krasney with the Krasney Law Firm. Krasney Law Firm is awesome. It has a very unique business model. And before we get into our topic today, why don't you talk real quickly, Marc, about that model, and welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. You bet. About 9 years ago now, we decided to become a concierge law firm. You've heard of the concierge doctor system. We're the law firm. And what that means is you pay us a flat fee. We become more or less your in-house counsel. We're your quarterback. We're the law firm you call when you have an issue, a problem, whether it's an employee problem, something in your business, even a personal problem. Most people in companies don't really know where to turn, and typically most of the questions they have require legal advice. And so we started this law firm to give that legal advice without the surprise bill.
Right. Basic idea is kind of like an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
Yeah, we want to know the question from the beginning so that we don't have to worry about later on, hey, how do we fix the problem? Well, let's get involved at the beginning so we don't have the problem.
Yeah, very good. You were mentioning before the break this concern out there that, when a business owner has to face criminal questioning because, strange things happen with that. Why don't you kind of lay the stage for us?
What people forget, too, is that entities, when they're given birth by the Secretary of State, are also subject to criminal investigations, and likewise, the officers, shareholders are subject to criminal offenses. And a lot of times, people think in the company, hey, I have to cooperate. Oh, police need these documents. Let's put them together and send them off. Or, hey, this investigator's coming over to question. You know what, I'm just going to cooperate because it's easier. Well, that doesn't always work out. I know we learned in kindergarten to play well with others and help out elders and people in power, but that's not exactly what our Constitution says. And you don't have to. That's the easiest message I give to my clients. And then their next call should be to my office.
Well, the way I like it is, unless you like to spend lots of money defending yourself, lots of time in jail, you really should be extremely cautious. We've got a lot of romantic notions. I grew up in an era watching, Adam 12 and watching Dragnet and, with a lot of warm and fuzzies about what police officers do and what police officers are all about. And don't get me wrong, where would our society be if we didn't have law enforcement? But what people don't understand is I believe that the courts and the law enforcement, entities are in the conviction business, not in the justice business. And, there is a rush to judgment because there's an economics even to what they do. And there's a satisfaction rate that they're trying to get, a proof rate that they're trying to get. And you can easily become a victim of that process, and I tell you, I told my kids very early on, that you ever have any issue that requires the police being involved, you don't say a word. You say you want to talk to your parents before you say anything. And if I were to get called, I would say, we're not talking to you until we talk to an attorney. And that's really how you should treat it.
That's very good advice. In fact, once you do, as a accused, we'll say, if the police are questioning you as an accused, or even your business, if you say to them, I will not speak to you, and you can say it politely, I would like my lawyer present. That questioning, whatever it is, to whatever extent, minor or major, has to stop. And
right, so at that moment. And as they continue to question, they are whatever charges are being considered are at risk because they have at that moment begun to violate your constitutional rights.
Well, and the next step there in that is if they do get some information after you've talked and said, I want my lawyer present, that information, that proposed evidence, could be inadmissible, and the state doesn't want that. And so a lot of police officers, investigators, and the like will want to continue and press on and try to be your friend. Oh, come on, it's going to be easier. Just answer the questions. Well, that's not exactly true, because by the time my law firm gets involved or another criminal lawyer gets involved, the DA gets involved. And the easiest argument is to say, hey, wait, anything after this client asks for a lawyer is inadmissible. End of discussion. And in my opinion, the judges will agree.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And at that point, there was a violation. And to me, the quicker you get to, I'm not having a conversation, until I talked to a lawyer. In a sense, really, you look less criminal, don't you? Because if you wait until there's a threshold, question you don't like, before you say that, doesn't that kind of lend to you almost being perceived as more guilty than you otherwise would?
Maybe to the police or to an investigator.
Of course, they're in the conviction business, so yeah, definitely to them.
Yeah, when that happens, but I think when the DA gets involved, they'll look at the actual evidence, the circumstances, the procedure, and actually what happened, and usually there's a different set of eyes. And so they'll notice, but the biggest thing I want your listeners to take away from this is if they get a subpoena in the mail or they get served by a constable for some information for their business, don't automatically assume you have to answer it. Don't automatically assume that request is a gospel and you have to respond that this is the best thing. There are so many options that can be done, but the moral of the story is contact a law firm, contact a lawyer, review that information, because not only could it be negative to your business, but it could have personal implications to the officers, managers, directors, employees, and we don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want that. And so people really need to be cautious about it. And, there's this foreboding sense of patriotism and this foreboding desire to do the next right thing could actually destroy you, regardless of whether or not you had anything to hide.
That's true. And, your Constitution says you have a right to counsel, and if you are an accused, you have a right for a jury, and you have a right to talk to a lawyer about whatever is being questioned of you. And so even though it's noble to cooperate, it's not always in your best interest, because a police officer or an investigator is trying to, like you say, get a conviction for some purpose. And by the time, when they start, most defense lawyers or even the businesses, we don't know the big picture. We don't really know why that request for a document came out or why that questioning is happening. We don't know what they're looking for. And so any assistance we give could, in the end, hurt the business or the employee or shareholders.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quickly, kind of give us a summary of what it should look like. If you get a call or if you have a police officer come by your business or your home, kind of give us a real quick breakdown what that should look like, and even some of the language.
If that scenario happens, be polite, be friendly, respectful, professional, but simply say, thank you very much, I'm going to send this to my lawyer. Or if they continue, just simply say, thank you very much, I'm busy, I'm going to send this to my lawyer. If you get a request in the mail, a subpoena, something like that, send it to a lawyer, only because there are deadlines to respond, there are objections that can be made, you can do a motion to quash. There's so many different avenues that can be done. But the moral of the story to the business owner is be polite, be respectful, and make sure you enforce the rights the U.S. Constitution gives you.
Yeah, absolutely. Marc Krasney is with the Krasney Law Firm, and that website is Krasney, Krasney, lawfirm.com, correct?
You got it.
Thank you so much. KrasneyLawFirm.com, Krasney lawfirm.com. The main reason why you want to call is to learn more about his unique business model. He did start it almost a decade ago, and here we are a decade later, and still very few attorneys do this because, frankly, it's not where the big bucks are. Big bucks are in fighting, not preventing. And, by all means, take advantage of someone who's going to help you prevent it. Thanks so much, Mark.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.
When we come back, much more for you. I want to remind you, best content here, including this interview, will be found over there at usdatareview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.